Wow, great question. Where did it all start? Let's see here. How did it begin? I can tell you, I grew up in a strict home, very close family, son of a Baptist preacher. Spent a lot of time in the church, but I can guarantee I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. Far from it. I watched my father. He had to work hard to make a living. Then went to high school in a small town in northern Michigan, real small town. And when I say I went to high school, I'm going to tell you I went to high school. That's it. I didn't apply myself whatsoever. It was just about having fun. And then somehow I found a college that would accept me. Went to school, and same thing. Didn't apply myself and just skated right through. Once I got out of college, I bounced around from job to job, did a little bit of traveling, just having fun through life. And then one day, I remember it plain as day. I was in this parking lot and I saw this beautiful Mercedes. I mean, just gorgeous Mercedes. And I was like, what does this guy do for a living? What is this all about? And I asked him, I was like, what do you do for a living? He goes, you know what, I'm a financial advisor. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna figure this out. So I went home and I started looking at ads in the paper. Wasn't real big on the internet then. And I found this small little ad, and it was for financial advisors, and they would train you. So I answered the ad. It was right outside of Detroit, Michigan, right in Warren. And when I went to the interview, I noticed, you know what, this guy, there's something about this guy, and I want to work here. Maybe they'll hire me. And you know what, I got the phone call, and they hired me. Great training process, and I'm going to tell you, I started at account executive and worked my way all the way up to vice president of one of their departments. And I learned so much at that firm. The owner of the company, great guy. I'm going to tell you, he really taught me sales. He taught me how to deal with people. And to kind of go back, at first I was kind of struggling. And I wish I would have applied what my father taught me. And one of the things my father always taught me is don't go after the money. The money will follow. Help people achieve what they need. And the owner of this company really reinforced that in my mind. And once I started looking at helping clients achieve their goals, then I started making money. And it was kind of an amazing process. Towards the end of my career there, before I left the firm, I met a beautiful woman, and she was really my inspiration. She really taught me a lot. She brought me back to the values that I needed. And what I mean by that is she brought me back to church. And I really found myself. And she started telling me, you're known in the industry. You're good at what you do. Why don't you start your own company? And I fought it and fought it. And finally, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. It can't be that hard. And so I went and started my own company. Now, that was great. I loved it. What I loved about it was, freedom, 100% freedom. But now it's you have to make money. So, which was really good. I know a lot of people in the industry. I know a lot of people in the Metro Detroit area. So finding clients wasn't hard. So it was a great move to make. And then it all got to my head. And when it all got to my head, before I knew it, I lost everything. And I ended up, before I knew it, I opened my eyes and I was living in a real small crack hotel right outside of Detroit. And that was a low point. It was a real low point for me. I really haven't ever told anybody this except for some real close friends. And of course my family knew. And I was looking at stuff that you would see in the show Cops, and I would get in this small room and I'd just read book after book and just, Rob, why are you here? What are you doing? You're better than this. And through the help of my parents, I got out of that place. I thank them to death over that. And I really started concentrating on helping others. Really finding myself. Still having my company. And then I found it. I fired everybody around me. I fired all my friends. And I got a real good group of hardcore friends that we would do anything for each other. And we bounce ideas across from each other. And got my company back going again. It was great. Started making good money again, enjoying it. But I wasn't happy. So what did I end up doing was I went out west to try to find myself. And then when I went out west, I really found myself, and now all of a sudden it's, I think the biggest change how I found myself was I had to live by faith. I always knew you had to live by faith, but I would say, that's what really changed me was living by faith. And the problem with me by living with faith was, because I was always taught live by faith, but by doing that, I was thinking about my reputation. If it didn't work out, I was hurting my reputation. But then I come to find out, it was like an epiphany that said, you know what? We're told to walk by faith, but at the same time, it's not our reputation, it's God's reputation. So I took that leap, and when I took that leap, it was unbelievable. All of a sudden now, I travel all across the United States. I train agents and advisors on how to help their clients, but also the right mindset that they need. But not to stop thinking about money, but really help your clients achieve their goals. And by doing that, it's just grown my company. And then, of course, there's side ventures that I've been doing. And, one thing I've realized now is, you know what? It's not hard to make money. It's very easy to make money. It's the networks and the people you put yourself around with. But when you make that money, it's where you put that money. And that's the biggest key. So I think to really answer your question is it started with faith and it came back with faith. I think that's going to answer your question.